Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hello Word, the podcast where we explore the fascinating world of English vocabulary. I'm your host, Alex, and I'm thrilled to have you join me today. Our word for today is call, a A1 level verb meaning to shout out or phone someone. So, what does it mean to call someone? Well, in its simplest form, call means to give someone a name or designation. Think about it like this. We call a fluffy feline a cat. But more commonly, call means to shout something, usually to get someone's attention or to telephone someone. For example, you might call out someone's name across a crowded room, or you might call a friend to chat about your day. It's a really common verb, and you'll hear it all the time. Now, let's delve a bit deeper and look at some synonyms for call. A synonym for call in the sense of shouting is yell. You could say, she yelled for help, instead of, she called for help. Another synonym, particularly for phone calls, is phone. For example, I need to phone my mother is the same as saying, I need to call my mother. Another similar word to shout is cry, like, she cried out in pain. Another synonym, related to naming, is label, as in they labeled him a hero. Let's put these synonyms in some sentences. Instead of saying he called her name, you could say he yelled her name across the field. If you want to say you contacted someone by phone, you could say I will phone you later this evening instead of I will call you later this evening. Or, replacing name with label, they called it a success becomes they labeled it a success. Now, let's consider the opposite side of the coin, antonyms. What words have the opposite meaning of call? If we're talking about shouting, an antonym could be whisper. For example, instead of calling out a greeting, you might whisper a secret. If we consider call in terms of phoning someone, an antonym could be ignore. Instead of calling a friend, you might ignore their messages. Another antonym related to shouting is mumble. While calling involves a loud, clear vocalization, mumbling involves speaking quietly and indistinctly. If we're talking about giving something a name, an antonym could be misname. It means calling something by the wrong name. Let's see how these antonyms work in sentences. Instead of call me when you arrive, you could say ignore me if you are busy. Instead of call the police, you could say whisper the information to me so no one hears. Instead of call that a success, you could say don't misname that it was a failure. Let's talk about using call in everyday life. You might hear someone say, give me a call, which means phone me. You could also say, it's your call, meaning it's your decision. And, of course, if someone needs help, they might call for help. He is just a call away is a very common expression that signifies that the person in question can be readily contacted if required. Here are some more example sentences. Call me at 5 p.m. so we can talk about it. She made a call to the doctor's office to schedule an appointment. The referee called a foul during the basketball game. The bird's call echoed through the forest. I will call you back as soon as I am available. He called the dog to come inside. They called the meeting to order. Did you call to book your flight? I will call around to find a good price. Please call if you need anything at all. She called the ambulance when she saw the accident. They called him a liar. He called the election. She called out his name. The teacher called on him to answer the question. He called in sick. She called off the wedding. So, to recap, call is a versatile A1 verb that means to shout out, phone someone, or give something a name. Synonyms include yell, phone, and label, while antonyms include whisper, ignore, and misname. It's a very useful word in many everyday situations. Thank you for joining me on Hello Word today. I hope you found this episode helpful. Now, before you go, I have a small favor to ask. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. Your support helps others discover our show and learn more about the English language. Finally, I encourage you to create your own sentence using the word call and share it as a comment under the video. I can't wait to see what you come up with. See you next time on Hello Word.